Hello and welcome to this videocast for subscribers to davidicke.com. Well, the Queen's been in the news this week, having become the longest reigning monarch in British history, passing well over 63 years. And of course, there's been all the fawning, eulogy, grotesque, I find anyway, praise heaped upon what I would suggest is a deeply elitist and indeed racist institution. This is what the Prime Minister David Cameron said. Millions of people across Britain will today mark the historic moment when Queen Elizabeth becomes our longest serving monarch. Funnily, we missed it in this house. Her Majesty has been a rock of stability in a world of constant change, earning admiration for her selfless sense of service and duty. Fawning. It is only right that we should celebrate her extraordinary record, as well as the grace and dignity with which she serves our country. Well, as anyone who's read my books will appreciate, I would have a rather different angle on this. We think we've moved on to a certain level of maturity in society, or at least some people do. But how can that be so when the head of state, oh no, she's only there for the tourism, brings the tourists in. You must be joking when you look into the background. When the head of state is selected by bloodline, in effect, who had sex with who, when? Because the when means where you are in the order of becoming the monarch. And so we have the head of state in Britain decided by one bloodline and what he gets up to when the lights go off. And we live in a society which officially abhors racism and goes on all the time in its gathering political correctness about this is racist, that's racist, and you can't say that, and that's racist, and all that. And at the same time, we have an institution which produces the head of state that is so blatantly, fundamentally racist that in effect only one white bloodline from one family can become head of state. I made a complaint a few years ago. There used to be an organisation, got different names now, called the Commission for Racial Equality. And it was headed by a bloke called Trevor Phillips, OBE, Honour from the Queen. And so I saw an advert and it said, if you think something is racist, basically, or there's examples of racism, then tell us about it. So I wrote to them and I reported the monarchy, which I pointed out was fundamentally racist in the way that it operated for all the reasons I've just said. And I also asked why the head of a commission for racial equality was not only acting against this fundamentally racist institution, but had accepted an OBE honour from it. And of course, as I've explained and detailed many times, we see different agencies that seem to have different roles. We see different aspects of the system, some of which appear to be opposing in their views and their reason for being. But in fact, they're all masks on the same system face. And so I wasn't expecting anything from the Commission for Racial Equality more than they got, which was a bullshit letter from one of their lawyers, quite demonstrably not addressing a single point that I made. And, you know, like I say, people talk about all the royals, yeah, they're good for tourism. It's not what it's about. It's not just symbolic. It is literal in its power, most of it hidden from public attention, so there's not outrage that those powers still exist. Do you know that the Queen, or the monarch, is still the only person that can declare war and decide when war is over? And when you look at the monarchy, what you're looking at is a visual expression, and in a place you can see expression of the very hidden hand that I've been exposing all these years. And what I mean by that is this. You see politicians come and go. You see parties come and go. And you see other here today, gone tomorrow people come and go. And they appear to be in power, and they appear to be part of this thing called democracy, which is about rule by the people, while we have a head of state that comes from one bloodline. Yeah, all right. Did I miss something? Anyway, you've got these here now, gone tomorrow people, but the hidden hand is always there. It's in the background, and it's choosing who comes in and who comes out. It's directing and driving the policies and the direction of society. And here you have the royals, who are a public expression of that. Governments come and go, but they're always here, passing on their power and their wealth to their family. And so I'm going to get into this in this videocast today. The monarchy is not just symbolic. It's a major, yes, symbol on one level, but it's also a major strand in this web of control that's hidden by the illusion of having political choice. And, we don't have courts in this country that are the people's courts. They're Her Majesty's courts. You have to pledge an oath of allegiance to the monarchy, to the Queen, to become a member of Parliament. There are oaths to the Queen to become police officers, to be MI5, MI6. I could say to be at any level in the Christian Church, in terms of the Church of England, of which she is the head. We have a situation where so much of this country and the institutions of this country have HM, Her Majesty's, in front of them. They're not the people's institutions. They're the monarch's institutions, who is a visual representative of the hidden hand that really dictates what happens in those institutions. We have a situation in this country where we are subjects, and the definition of words is very, very important. They don't use words by accident. They do it because it says something. It delivers how things are in the definition. The Queen, therefore, refers to us as subjects, my subject. And a subject is defined as one who is under the rule of another or others, especially one who owes allegiance to a government or ruler. The Oxford English Dictionary says that a subject is someone under the dominion of a monarch. It's a free democracy. And dominion means control or the exercise of control. The term sovereignty doesn't refer to the people but to the sovereign. The Queen is said to reign over us, and reign means dominance or widespread influence. We don't even have a national anthem in Britain. We have an anthem to the monarch. And people stand up and belt it out at national occasions and at sporting events, and not realizing what the words are actually saying and what they're actually saying. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, da 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 da, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Don't remember any mention of the country there. Don't remember any mention of the people. So, long to reign over us. That's what people are doing when they're singing the national anthem. They are asking to be, demanding to be reigned over. Definition of reign: royal rule or authority, sovereignty, dominating power or influence, to possess or exercise sovereign power or authority, rule. So the national anthem is demanding, it's the people demanding, that they become subject to the monarch's dominance or widespread influence.